Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55. It's the Tier 9 American SPG and it's locating on the defending spawn of Karelia Assault. And the name of the driver, well, shall we just call him Al, because he's got a lot of numbers after his name. And this actually happens to be the M55 because that's the 8-inch howitzer. And he's got a mark of excellence on the side of his barrel. And I'm not sure of the flag there, but I think that's Taiwanese. Anyway, he's moving back into a firing position. Going over the ridgeline. And I think he's about to knock down a tree. Yes, he did. Not always advisable, because if you knock down a tree, it gives away your firing position. And he's aiming for a Batchat 25 ton, who's managed to make his way up this way. Oh, 362 hit points from a near miss. Now, seeing as this is an assault battle, it's only 10 minutes long. And if the enemy has failed to capture the base in that time or kill all of his team, he will win. Okay, we've got a AMX-65 ton, the ugly French tank. The Duck is actually quite a cute tank, but this is it's a derivation of it. Oh! He just wiped him out. 65 tons gone into scrap. Beautiful shot. It was a blind shot as well. He worked out where he was going to go and fired the round in there and did a splash kill. Yes, as I was saying, the AMX 65 ton is a bit of an ugly duckling, really. It's not really as cute as the AMX 40. Okay, he's loaded, ready to shoot. It's got a 33.7 seconds reload. It's quite long. Type 5 heavy takes a direct hit for 174 hit points. And he's got a nasty stun on him now. But he's still moving. And he's still getting hit as well. Okay, still reloading. Now he's only got 15 rounds of, or only started the battle actually, I think it was 16 rounds of HE. He's also carrying 4 rounds of premium. He's got a bigger splash area. He's looking around for a target. There was an Indian Panzer somewhere around about there, but we've lost sight of it. IS-7's poking around the corner. He might spot it. No. Okay, there's some tanks we can see. Oh, there's the Indian Panzer. Fires a round in. Oh! Well, it was a near miss for 357 hit points. It's very good. It's more damage. Now, unfortunately, we're not doing so well on the battle because we've already lost 5 members of our team. We're only left with 10 now. And the enemies, we've only killed 2 of the enemies so far. Striv S1, Swedish flatpack. Rounds out. Oh, 404 hit points from a near miss. That's very good. And that Striv is now down to 33 hit points. It's a one shot for anyone who gets him. And, well, I think somebody tried to get him there but failed. That Striv's moving very slowly. Oh, now he's a wreck. He's out the game, back in the garage. There's a couple of tanks, including a Batchat and a Pershing, I think it is. It's managed to make its way up that little pass in grid square D4. But at the moment, I don't think that Al can get a shot on them. As you can see, his name does have a number of letters after it, so rather complicated. Don't know what his true name is, but we'll just call him Al. And that Pershing went down, 540. Wow. He got shot in the rear, actually. I think it may have been the IS-7. There's an Object 430 coming up to the south, along with a T-54 first prototype. And we've got a Type 5 heavy off to the east. So we're being squeezed here. You might have to repel all borders because I think that Object 430 is about to come around the corner. No, he's changed his mind. He's going to go after that back chat. It's a difficult shot because he's in a dip. So he's trying to feather the aim to get the red line over the target. Fires the round in anyway, but he's going to have to move now because that 430 is very close. It's just around the corner. He's having a quick look to see. Hasn't spotted him yet. Yeah, there's more tanks down to the east, and he's having a go to see if he can get that Type 5 heavy. It's a very difficult aim. He doesn't want to hit his own tank in the process. That Striv is very close to the edge. He's going to have to loop the shell over the top of the Striv into the Type 5, and unfortunately it doesn't do any damage. You can see the Lorraine 15551's joined him, and he's moving this way. And the Type 5 has gone down. He was actually taken out by the IS-7. So now he's vacating the cap area because so long as he can stay alive, and he has been spotted by the enemy, so long as he can stay alive, then he will win the battle. There's a Batchat 25 ton over there. That's probably what spotted him. And the Lorraine is joining him. They're running for cover, for safety. And the enemy's now made it into the back area behind the cap. So long as they cannot cap out, and there is only 3 minutes 55 left on the clock, and there's only 4 members of their team. Scratch that, there's only 3 members of their team left alive. 2 Arty and 1 tank destroyer, and that tank destroyer is a Jaegeru. Lorraine's going to make his stand from here, try and fire back into the cap, reversing up. I think we're going to go a little further up onto the hill before we shoot. Well, the enemy is capping. So now we're going to have to start putting shells into the cap because they've got enough time to cap out. And we've got an IS-3 headed this way. Oh, no, he's been killed. He's been taken out by the Jaegeru. Unfortunately, the Jaeger has found the Lorraine 15551. So we're going to continue to motor in this direction. And the Batchat's gone down. He was shotgunned by the Lorraine. And we've also got a Death Star headed this way, the FB215B. But we're going to have to try and get a reset. Well, Al's going to try and fire on the enemy cap, on our cap rather, I should say. And presuming that the enemy's going to be in that, behind that rock, because he thinks that the enemy is over here. We're still loading. There's 35 seconds left on the clock. We're going to have to do it with this shot, because if we don't do it with this shot, we're never going to do it. The Lorraine has been taken out. Oh no, he hasn't. Sorry, he just took out the first prototype. My mistake. Well, he's fired the round in. Oh, he got the reset! 90 capture points reduced, so that's 90 defense points, and that virtually guarantees a defender medal. And he's moving, and so's the Lorraine. He's actually behind him. There he is. And the enemy is just enough time to get another to cap out if he can get somebody into the cap. It's only the Lorraine and the M55 left. So they're going to have to get another reset. Now the good news is he's loaded premium ammo, and premium ammo has a much greater blast radius. The blast radius is 12.8 meters. So let's see if he can do it. He's got to try and find the enemy. He's loaded. He's ready to shoot. He's dialing in the aim. Fires a round in. Oh, he got it! He got the reset. They cannot win. They have to find the Arty and kill them, otherwise they will not win. And that's the 1 minute hooter. Oh, Lorraine has just found the enemy Arty and he's been killed. That means Al is the last one alive on his team. He's up on the horseshoe, but one of the enemies come up onto the horseshoe. In fact, actually, it's the enemy. It's one of the enemy Arties, and he's turning in this direction. We're dialing in. Oh, we've been hit, and he shotguns him for 325. But there's not enough time for either of them to reload. I don't know if he's going to try for a ram kill, probably inadvisable actually, or is he going to try and escape? No, he's going to try and escape. Oh, damaged his tracks in the process. Very, very, very dicey here. But he is trying desperately to get away. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and he's won. They didn't cap out. There was 4 seconds left on the clock for them to cap with 2, and there was not enough time. And it's a Kolobanov. He's done it. He survived the battle. He won for his team. He earned a Bruiser Medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, critical incapacitations or module damage. He managed to get 9. And he also managed to get a Defender Medal for resetting the cap with at least 70 or more capture points. And finally, he stood alone against 5 enemy and survived. And that wins him a Kolobanov, the last man standing. They didn't manage to cap out, and he was still alive at the end. And that means Kolobanov time. So let's have a look at team scores. Well, he didn't do the highest damage in the battle. He came third with 2,092 hit points. The Jaegeru managed to get 4,317 before he was killed. And the IS-7 managed 2,341 of 4 kills. When it came to the kills, obviously the IS-7 was top. Then the Lorraine 155-51, he managed 3 kills. And the M53 M55 managed just 1. The highest scorer on the enemy team was the Object 430. He managed 4 kills, and he was alive at the end of the battle, but sadly he couldn't find and kill Al, as we'll call him, in time, and therefore he wins and gets the Kolobanov. So let's have a look at detail. Well, he fired 10 rounds, got 2 direct hits, 2 penetration, 6 splash. Damage of 2,092 hit points, of which 1,767 were more than 300 meters. He did receive 1 hit, and it was a penetration. That was from the GW Tiger. He also spotted 1 enemy vehicle, again the GW Tiger, damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 1 of them, and did damage stun assistance, rather I should say, of 474 hit points off 7 stuns. And he managed to get 100 defense points, obviously from 2 separate resets, which totaled over 100, but you can only ever have a 100 in total reset points. So he managed to do very nicely there, got 100 defense points. He also received 34,444 credits, and after repair, ammunition resupply and consumables, he actually suffered a loss of 23,288 credits. He also took home 930 base XP, or rather base XP on premium, and there was no multipliers, so that's all he took away in experience points. But I'm sure he'll be very happy to take the Kolobanov and Defender away. That's a great victory. And of course, at the end, it was a frantic scramble to try and get away from that GW before he could reload. And of course, any of the other enemy tanks, because if they'd actually turned up and put 1 round into him, he was so low on health, they probably would have won the game. And I was very worried for a second he was going to lose the game by crashing over the cliff, but he survived and earned his medals. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.